iDriveSoCal is brought to you by the very best auto retailers from across Southern California. When it's time for you to buy or even just kick the tires on the idea of buying, just go to iDriveSoCal.com and click on dealers. iDriveSoCal.com, click on dealers, and get connected. Now, on with the podcast.
Whether they have a new technology that will go on a cube satellite or flying car or new data collecting technology for vehicles. It's just all converging, whether it's aerospace or advanced transportation, all the platforms that are around it. So we've got the perfect setting with our 11 million people in one small, tight spot.
Driving each other nuts on the 405.
Exactly. So we've got the right setting to move this technology forward, and it's going to be very exciting to see it.
Welcome to iDriveSoCal, the podcast all about mobility from the automotive capital of the United States, Southern California. I'm Tom Smith, and today I'm downtown Los Angeles at the Los Angeles County Economic Development Corporation, and joining me is the director of the Industry Cluster Development, the long title here, of Aerospace and Advanced Transportation. Judy Kruger is with me. Judy, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Tom. It's a pleasure to be here.
Judy is in charge of the portion of the LA County Economic Development Corporation that we here at iDriveSoCal and our mobility interest. Judy's in charge of that whole space. So anything that has to do with mobility, transportation as it pertains to the County of Los Angeles, which I'd imagine also impacts greater than just the County of Los Angeles. Judy's in charge of that development. So I'm very excited to be sitting with you, Judy, and tell us a little bit about just high level what your organization does and what you do within it.
Certainly. At the LAEDC, we are focused on driving growth with these industry clusters. So advanced transportation could be, as you know, anything related to mobility, electric, autonomous, infrastructure, charging stations, alternative fuels, design studios. What we're trying to do with our industries is grow them organically and grow them in innovation.
So it's a little bit of everything. And with that in mind, I'd kind of like to focus on the top maybe 3-ish things, if we can, right now that you have on your plate.
So if I were to pick the top 3, what's unique to Southern California, in addition to our innovative culture, is Southern California, by policy and environment, was way ahead of the game in electric vehicles.
Sure.
And some of the spin-off of that is, unlike any other place in the U.S., we have 6 bus manufacturers in LA County. Actually, 8 bus manufacturers in the region, electric bus manufacturers. We are targeting assisting that industry grow because it has many ripples, a ripple effect to driving growth with an industry like that will additionally play into autonomous. And so that's our second area. We're looking at how can we add urban planning to industry planning, and where can we help roll out projects on the autonomous side.
Okay.
And then thirdly, we're helping with infrastructure and charging stations, rolling out what the county needs. And we have charging manufacturers in the region and designers in the region as well.
Electric vehicles, electric buses. I know you're very proud of the electric bus manufacturers that are here. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. The total percentage of electric vehicles anywhere, including LA County, is quite small, comparatively speaking, right? And that's expected to grow, hands down.
Right.
I want you to talk a little bit about that, because I'm sure you have some good insight. But then the other component is electric buses. You know, we are in the traffic capital of the world by many metrics. If you look at INRIX, which is a company that monitors such metrics, but with that in mind, and I've been here personally for 13 years, maybe 14. N Once, actually, my wife and I took the train, parked our cars, took the train to Staples Center once. What I'm getting to is not a lot of electric cars on the road right now currently. Not a lot of people taking the bus right now currently. Can you speak to both of those elements?
I would agree that our statistics show that bus ridership is down. However, that doesn't match what's actually happening on the ground in LA. So, in leadership roles and conversations around the county, that's the question. How do we innovate in shared mobility? What should the buses do? Whether it's revamping what their mapping grid work looks like in the county, or changing over the fleet to all electric, which has been on the state's mandate for quite a while now. We're looking at a combination of environmental issues that are
Mhm.
driving electric buses because we've got to have, especially in disadvantaged communities, we've got to mitigate the environmental issues for those regions with electric, and then on top of it, handle the shared mobility and rolling out what really needs to happen as a solution for the congestion.
But so if people aren't if people aren't riding a bus, and maybe this isn't your under your jurisdiction in any capacity, and just tell me if it's not. But if people aren't riding a bus, it doesn't matter if it's pulled by horses or run on gas engine or natural gas or electric, right?
Right. We're kind of talking. We're trying to wrap everything into one conversation when it's separate issues. Shared mobility, whether it's a bus or Uber or Lyft or shared biking. That's one issue.
Okay.
Environmental issues are a second issue. And where buses are currently mapped and maybe more strategically where they need to be remapped, those are separate issues. But they all kind of wrap together because one thing we do know is that LA can't stay the way it is.
That's part of the reason why I started iDriveSoCal is just because countless hours of mind-numbing frustration in traffic. And I mean, and that's I don't mean to put you on a hot seat here, but that's part of just a true conundrum. I mean, we all sit in it. We all loathe, hate it, but yet we continue. And and more people come here to Southern California because it's fantastic living, right? Except for traffic. That's the one thing that everybody says. But yet what are we really doing? Um and I guess you being on the front lines, you're bringing industry into the county to develop solutions for that pain point.
Right. So, there's the urban mobility piece, and unlike probably any other region, we wrap it together with industry growth. So, both of those are hot issues for us at
Mhm.
LAEDC. We want to grow the electric bus industry. At the same time, we've got the urban planning piece of how to convince people to think rideshare as a
Mhm.
solution to congestion. And, it may be, and I'm not the only one saying this, but it may be that policy has to drive that more,
Mhm.
just like policy drove the mitigation for environmental issues related to electric vehicles a couple decades ago.
Mhm.
So, California was ahead of the game when it enforced policy that drove electric vehicles to mitigate the pollution issue. In the same way, we're going to probably see policy that will drive the congestion issue, like
Mhm.
other cities have done. Maybe there'll be zones where you don't get to drive your car.
And we talked about this a little bit off mic. The councilman who with a lot of citizens in the Playa Vista, Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey, Venice area, where the councilman had the big push. Was it Bowden or Mike Bowden or something like that? He had the big push for driving traffic down to one lane, and then all of a sudden that hugely backfired, and now that traffic is being put back to the way that it was. So that's the other weird thing is that we have we all know there's a problem, but then when solutions are proposed or actions taken to solve the problem, uh, we're all freaking out about it. Uh,
It's a mindset change.
right?
So, and at some point, I drive in from Santa Monica on 10,
Mhm.
inching my way along,
Mhm.
and I could take the metro train in, and I have in the past, but I like my vehicle.
Right.
That's a mindset change I have to overcome, and a lot of Angelenos do as well because we know we can't stay where we're at. So that's a little psychological, sociological change that is in process.
It's here first because we have the biggest problems, the biggest pain points, and because of that, we have the most innovative companies and technologies. Is there anything else you want to touch on that topic before we move on to autonomous?
We're focused on industry growth, and a hot topic right now that relates to industry growth is jobs.
Yeah.
And so, we're an ever shifting economy,
Yep.
probably at an accelerated rate because of the demographics of LA.
Sure.
So, as we assist the 6 bus manufacturers in the region and we look at what the workforce needs are, that's a hot topic on all leadership levels across the county. Because if we then move on to the next topic, autonomous vehicles, that's going to be a shift and,
Mhm.
a big shift in who's hired and where.
Mhm.
And, but even for engineers and line workers on our manufacturing for the electric bus manufacturers, that's an agenda we're looking at carefully and working with local community colleges.
On to autonomous. Huge topic. Uh, Followed it pretty closely here on iDriveSoCal. Uh, the accident just outside of Phoenix, Arizona, about a month ago now, kind of put tapped the brakes on the progress, but I don't think that's slowing down really. I think it's just kind of like a minor reset. Um, Very, very, very interesting topic overall. The concept of a car coming and picking me up and there not even being a driver in it. And then I know that package delivery is something that's on the front burner. But tell me about autonomous driving as it pertains to the LAEDC.
Well, that certainly is one of the agendas we're looking at. How can we assist in autonomous rollout? And I think what should happen and is probably currently happening, and that is advancements in parcel delivery, because there's so many innovative companies that are autonomous, don't hold passengers, and are lightweight and small moving. And so the technology for autonomous can continue to accelerate while all of the mapping and the glitches related to autonomy can continue to roll out without the danger of killing a pedestrian or a passenger. So we'd like to, at LAEDC, we'd like to have a couple of pilot projects that are pilot to commercial roll out in the region for small, lightweight, slow moving autonomous parcel delivery.
And what does that look like?
It could be as small as a small sidewalk drone
Hmm.
that rolls along and delivers parcels that a business owner or someone in a home has to step out to the sidewalk and then open the drone or the vehicle and take their parcel in. So it could be a
So this is I'm at the office and I ran out of legal pads and oh, I need some staples, and the little drone from Amazon or Staples or Office Depot, whatever, comes boogieing over,
exactly.
and I
Yeah.
take a break from my desk and go out when I'm alerted on my app and tap in the code or whatever, the thing opens. I grab my legal pads and staples, and I'm on my way. And then uh, the autonomous package delivery vehicle is on its way to its next stop as well.
Yes, and so there you have continual rollout of the mapping and the testing of autonomous that's going to help the passenger autonomous vehicles as well. So, I think the bigger picture is we'd like to get some pilot projects on the ground going in California. The DMV regulations don't allow for parcel delivery commercial
Mhm.
application yet. And so we're talking to a couple of companies about where they could roll out a parcel delivery that's both business as well as residential
Mhm.
in one pilot project area. And that's really where we should be at. I just think it's going to be an interesting platform to see roll out. And we're seeing it roll out across the US in different pockets, and I think LA is just prime for seeing, like I said, some parcel delivery pilots roll out in the region.
Do we have a ETA on any of those?
Well, I'd like to see some parcel delivery rollout this year.
Okay.
And we are talking with some companies that are looking at pilot projects. But again, we've got regulatory hurdles that need to be
Mhm.
moved in order to move this ahead.
Let's touch base on what you had in mind on mind there for infrastructure charging stations.
Well, there's multiple organizations that are coordinating efforts. Whether we can start with actual charging manufacturers in the region and others that are doing the slow charger and fast charger
Mhm.
manufacturing. There's plenty of companies that are setting up for distribution of chargers.
Mhm.
There's additional county and city organizations and nonprofit organizations that are mapping out areas that need chargers, like desert areas. So
So, as it pertains to the next 12 months, 24 months, and 36 months, what are the most exciting 3 most exciting things that Southern Californians are going to see in LA County as a consumer rolling around?
we definitely should see autonomous parcel delivery in the region. And, we have some quietly and privately testing of autonomous vehicles in the region as well. So we're not understanding necessarily how quickly this is rolling out because it's in behind private fences. But also, we're going to continually see the innovative side of LA, and whether that's shared mobility. And I live in Santa Monica, so I see the bird
Mhm.
being rolled out, and I think it's just fantastic. And we even have another scooter called Herb E being manufactured in Pasadena. Very cool technology because it's collapsible and you can easily put it on the metro. And that's a very nice first mile, last mile solution. If we were all to ride buses and really embrace shared mobility, whether it's the metro train or the metro buses, the Urbi fits nicely into a compartment or in front of you, folded, and it's all electric.
Well, it's an exciting space and it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be here in Los Angeles. And I thank you for your time. Unless there's anything else that you'd like to add.
No, I think this is always an interesting conversation because we're tying in urban planning and how quickly can we do it and growing the industry, and it's just a very exciting region to be a part of. We weekly meet with companies whether they have a new technology that will go on a cube satellite or flying car or new data collecting technology for vehicles. It's just all converging, whether it's aerospace or advanced transportation, whether it's clean fuel or alternative fuel, and all the platforms that are around it. So we've got the perfect setting with our 11 million people in one small tight spot.
Driving each other nuts on the 405.
Exactly. So we've got the right setting to move this technology forward, and it's going to be very exciting to see it.
Judy Kruger of the Los Angeles County Economic Development Corporation, Director of the Industry Cluster Development, Aerospace, and Advanced Transportation. Thank you so much for being with me. I'm Tom Smith. This is iDriveSoCal. We're going to reconnect with Judy in the future for sure. But until next time, thanks for listening.
This episode was engineered and edited by Micah Palmquist.
Hey there. Still wanting more iDriveSoCal content? Just go to iDriveSoCal.com. From there, you can subscribe to our podcast and newsletter. And you can connect with one of our awesome car dealer partners to get yourself a sweet new high-tech wonder on wheels. And oh yeah, we always want to hear from you. So please connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. Or if you're not a big social media-ite, you can email us suggestions for stories, people, places, or events you think we should cover. Here's the address: media@iDriveSoCal.com. That's media, MEDIA, at the letter I, drive, DRIVE, SoCal, SOCAL.com. Media@iDriveSoCal.com. Thanks again for listening, and definitely reach out with whatever's on your mind.